The Antediluvian era, preceding the Great Flood, is a fundamental period depicted in Genesis 1-6. It commenced with the meticulous creation of the world in 6 days, culminating in the formation of humanity. Adam and Eve made in the divine image. Adam and Eve's existence in the pristine Garden of Eden was disrupted by the violation of God's sole prohibition, introducing sin and death. This epoch witnessed the emergence of agriculture through Cain and Abel, marking the onset of early civilization. Notably, lifespans were remarkably long during this era, enabling substantial societal contributions and advancements. The looming cataclysmic judgment exemplified by Noah's story heralded a transformative shift in human history. Keep watching till the end to discover the profound impact of the Antediluvian period, unveiling how this pivotal epoch shaped the trajectory of humanity and the world we inhabit today. Trust me, you want to take advantage of it. The Antediluvian period, from the world's creation to the Great Flood, is outlined in the Bible in Genesis 1-6. God crafted the universe in 6 days. On the 6th day, man and woman, made in his image, came into being. God named the first man Adam and placed him in the Garden of Eden in the east, bordered by 4 rivers: Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates. This suggests Eden might have been in the area of modern-day Iraq and Iran. Adam's task included naming the animals, and God created a woman from Adam's rib, Eve by him. They, the first generation of humans, were banished from Eden for disobeying God's solitary rule, not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Deceived by a serpent in the form of Satan, sin and death entered the world. Moving east from Eden, Adam and Eve had 2 sons, Cain and Abel. Due to Adam's sin, he toiled for food through difficult labor on the land, beginning farming and herding. Cain, a ground worker, and Abel, a shepherd, highlight early agricultural practices. Yet, negative attributes emerged swiftly. Jealous of God's favor toward Abel, Cain murdered his brother, reflecting the consequences of Adam and Eve's initial sin. After Cain married one of his sisters and had a son named Enoch, he was compelled to leave and settle east of Eden into the land of Nod, where he founded a city named after his first son, Enoch. This city stood as a testament to the burgeoning urbanization of the antediluvian world. Contrary to some theories, the scriptures emphasize that God created humankind as rational and morally capable beings. This notion is substantiated by closely examining the biblical accounts of the antediluvian period. Cain, the first human born on earth, demonstrated remarkable progress by establishing a city, showcasing the rapid advancements of this era. His descendants furthered this trend by making significant strides in various domains. Adam and Eve, with many offspring, likely established a community where farming and shepherding thrived. Seth, Adam's heir, continued this legacy. Each generation, living for hundreds of years, contributed to the growth of their community. The Antediluvian period is a significant phase in human history, marked by both progress and early glimpses of negativity. In the Bible, Moses recorded 10 generations from Adam to Noah. The first 9 generations are described as having sons and daughters while living remarkably long lives. Only Enoch and Lamech had shorter lifespans, living less than 895 years. Given these lengthy lifespans and the potential for many children in each generation, it's plausible that sizable communities thrived during this time. Moses outlined 7 generations from Cain. Although fewer details are provided about Cain's descendants than Adam's, we can assume similar lifespans and family sizes since they lived nearby and experienced comparable environmental conditions. With this information, we can estimate a more substantial pre-flood population than previously believed, and the period from creation to the flood spanned about 1,656 years. Assuming a growth rate similar to that of the year 2000, approximately 0.012, it's likely that around 750 million people lived on Earth during the Antediluvian period. However, considering the extraordinarily long lifespans before the flood, it's plausible that the growth rate was significantly higher. If a rate closer to 0.013, the population at the time of the flood could have been closer to 4 billion. In sharing Cain's genealogy, we find Jabal, the founder of living in tents and raising cattle, came from his family tree. showcasing an early form of industry and housing. Jabal began fabricating materials from nature, potentially including animal skins. His brother, Jubal, created musical instruments like the lyre and pipe. Another descendant, Tubal-Cain, crafted instruments from bronze and iron. By the 8th generation, metal tools and various instruments we use today were forged. This suggests that the early period of human history might have been technologically advanced. As time progressed in Noah's era, the biblical account portrays Noah as possessing the capability and resources to construct a massive ark according to divine instructions. This monumental task underscores the antediluvian world's advanced technological and cultural landscape. The antediluvian world experienced substantial growth in technology and culture, setting the stage for the events that would forever alter the course of history. Additionally, the ease of communication due to a common language might have expedited advancements. In the early days, before the Tower of Babel, everyone spoke one language, enhancing collaboration and efficiency. Imagine how much more advanced the world could be today if we all shared a common language. The Bible also tells us how a sinful way of life, starting with Cain, spread rapidly across the antediluvian world. Though there were those like Seth and Enoch who called upon God, the prevalent wickedness and violence, as seen in Cain's actions, suggest a society prone to aggression and conflict. For example, Lamech, who came from Cain's line, was the first to have multiple wives in the biblical accounts. He was also a murderer who took pride in his cruelty. After killing Abel, Cain didn't show remorse and even considered God's punishment unfair. Idol worship likely existed, given that many did not follow God. During this era, the descendants of Cain had spiraled into a profound spiritual decay, reaching an intolerable level. Amidst a society plagued by moral decline, Enoch stood unwavering, walking with God consistently for 300 years. Although Enoch's life spanned a relatively short duration of 365 years compared to his contemporaries, it held great significance. He fathered sons and daughters, among them Methuselah, whose life astonished with a remarkable 969 years, the most extended recorded lifespan in the Bible. The name Methuselah carried a prophetic message in Hebrew, combining muth, signifying death, and shalak, meaning to bring or send forth. This name held a profound implication. A cataclysmic judgment would be delayed until Methuselah's passing. This prophecy found fulfillment as the catastrophic global flood arrived precisely when Methuselah died. Methuselah's son Lamech was Noah's father, and Noah bore witness to this world-altering event. Enoch, aware of the imminent judgment awaiting the generation after his son's demise, meticulously maintained his health and devoutness, ensuring he walked with God and pleased God daily. For a deeper exploration into the intriguing origins of Enoch, be sure to watch our captivating video titled The Forbidden Book of Enoch. Delving into the ancient mystery, Enoch had such a close relationship with God that he was taken without experiencing death. And during this era, Noah was born, grew, and became a man. In those final years before the Great Flood, Noah stood out as a person who continued to fear the Lord. The Bible recounts that only Noah's family was spared when God, seeing the widespread wickedness, decided to end that civilization, pouring out his wrath and destroying the earth. The situation had become so dire, with wickedness reaching staggering levels, that the biblical writer described God's discontent as a moment of divine regret over creating mankind. Observing humanity's corruption and wickedness, God chose to judge the world with a global flood. The biblical account of the flood, found in chapters 6 to 9 of the book of Genesis, unveils a pivotal event in human history. As the 10th generation after the creation of Adam unfolded, God beheld a world steeped in corruption and violence, leading him to contemplate the destruction of his creation. To Noah, he revealed his intent to bring forth a deluge that would eradicate all living beings from the face of the earth. Noah was instructed to build an ark to save his family and 2 of every kind of animal. Noah, in his 600th year, heeded this divine call. On the 17th day of the 2nd month of that year, the cataclysmic event commenced as the fountains of the great deep burst apart, and the floodgates of heaven broke open. Rain poured incessantly for 40 days and nights, submerging the highest mountains to 15 cubits and extinguishing all life, save for Noah and those sheltered with him in the ark. After 150 days, God remembered Noah, and the waters began to recede. The ark eventually rested on the mountains of Ararat. The earth finally dried on the 27th day of the second month of Noah's 601st year. Noah, expressing gratitude, constructed an altar and offered a sacrifice to God. In response, God forged a covenant with Noah, allowing humanity to consume all living creatures but prohibiting the consumption of their blood. Moreover, God pledged never to unleash such a cataclysmic flood again, promising the preservation of life on earth. In this context, it's crucial to comprehend the magnitude of God's judgment. This was not a localized event like Sodom and Gomorrah or the Canaanite invasion. It eradicated 4 billion people and 1,600 years of civilization, arts, architecture, and technology through a single flood. God fulfilled His promise, using the flood waters to cleanse the world. Only God's account in Genesis 1-6 is a testament to that ancient civilization. If you've enjoyed this exploration, please show your support by giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss out on our intriguing historical revelations.